The crypto markets are in a really weird place right now, with many names across the timeline calling that the top is in, Trump sending the market on daily roller coasters, flip-flopping about tariffs, and despite some pump and dumps in the chart, we've kind of been trading sideways, which does get really boring, especially when there is no apparent meta that everybody is jumping on. Even for NFTs, we recently had the NFT strategy meta, where a handful of collections were really fun to trade, had a ton of attention and volume, and I myself made multi-five figures in this meta. However, now things are boring again, but that doesn't mean you just sit on your hands waiting for the charts to pump, as this is the perfect time to grind some whitelists and guarantee yourself a spot for a future mint. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Crypto Gorilla video, the #1 NFT YouTube channel in the entire world. Today, we're going to be talking about upcoming NFT projects that I'm excited about, as well as how you can get yourself a whitelist spot. As usual, I am not a financial advisor. We also have collabs with a ton of projects on today's list in my community, Gorilla Labs, and I myself might even have whitelists for some of these projects, so just keep that in mind. However, I will always say my true opinion about a project. If you appreciate this content, would you kindly hit that subscribe button and let's jump right into today's video. Now, the current meta for NFTs, at least for whitelist, is going to be something with some solid backing, whether it's a name behind the project, they raised multiple millions of dollars, they have a legitimate product, they have an airdrop coming, or some sort of utility behind the NFT. We are currently not in the period where you're able to just mint a random collection because it has a cheap mint price and some cool looking traits that you might hit a rare on. That is not the environment we are currently playing in. People are being conservative with their capital and they don't just want to YOLO it at the next project trying to make a quick 100K. Now, if we look at some recent projects that did decent, one, we have the Rexy one, which this is for the T-Rex chain that did raise a lot of money. The other day we had the Dino Gotchis, which these ones also did decent. They went above $100, also a free mint. And this is a team that also raised, have some good backers, and have their own games with legitimate users. And the most recent, very successful one is going to, of course, be Oh Baby Pass by Oh Baby Games. They've been developing multiple games for 2 years. The team is very well known. They've raised millions. And this is something a lot of people have been waiting for. It minted for 0.1, so it was expensive, but it pulled a 5x at the top. Currently still trading over a 3x from mint price, worth over $1,300. So what these all have in common is there's some sort of utility, airdrop, or legitimate backing behind the NFT collection. So these are the things we're going to want to be looking for. So let's first start off by looking at projects that have a campaign that just went live. So you're getting in as early as possible, which increases your odds of getting yourself a whitelist. The first of which is going to be Lil Fogees, which is the Genesis NFT collection for the Fogo chain. Now, from my understanding, the way they're entering the market is similar to Hyperliquid, where they're entering through a DEX because this chain is focused around trading, and they are doing that through the ambient perp DEX. Now, we recently had the biggest liquidation in crypto history, 19 billion liquidated. I think way too many people that have no experience in perps are trading perps, mainly to get some airdrops, but they ended up losing money before even receiving an airdrop. But the good thing about this perp DEX is it's currently on the Fogo testnet. So you are paper trading, which I think is really good. People are going to be able to practice trading and learn without putting their own money at risk, all while you're essentially farming a whitelist because you're working your way up a leaderboard. And if you're high up that leaderboard, depending in the group that you joined, you can get yourself a whitelist for their Genesis NFT. So a few things you got to do if you want to get whitelist. One is going to be yapping, meaning tweet about the project, tag Ambient and Fogo, make sure you're following them. Also join the Fogo Discord if you haven't already. And then the main thing you're going to have to do is trade, because they're looking who's trading. The way that this seems to be connected is through a wallet. So you're going to want to go on the leaderboard website. I'll put all the links in the description down below. And you're going to want to use the same wallet that you did for the Ambient platform. You also have to pick a community. For example, mine is Gorilla Labs. You're going to need a password. Mine is reserved for my community members, but there's plenty of communities that have access to this. I'm sure you're in at least one. If not, join the Fogo Discord, and I think they have a password in there. And then hopefully you lock down a nice whitelist for this collection. And worst case, you practice trading and you got a little bit better. Now, a quick little thing, because I know a bunch of people pointed this out to me. The NFTs I do find they look like Sugartown auras, okay? I don't know if it's the same artist or something, but a lot of people pointed that out to me. So I just want to say it before I get comments saying, oh, they look like this. Yes, I did notice it. Next on the list, we have Pact Swap. Now, they also just went live with this campaign. It is a questing campaign, very similar to what we've seen in the past. Your goal is to get points and work your way up the leaderboard by doing social tasks like connect your Twitter, X, make a post about us. There's daily check-ins. You can earn you can earn points by referring friends. My referral link in the description down below, and you will get 100 points when you use my link, as well as 10% of anybody you invite's points. But the main thing you're going to want to get is the codes, because these give you badges. And as you can see, the reward is golden airdrop. From my understanding, the more badges you get, the bigger your airdrop is going to be. However, they also recently had spoken about an NFT, which I spoke about in my whitelist video, which, yes, it is a soul-bound token, meaning you're not able to trade that NFT. However, the NFT is free to mint, so zero risk. It's going to get you a token airdrop. I'm not sure if it amplifies your airdrop from the questing campaign, but it gets you an airdrop nonetheless. And it's going to get you revenue share with the platform. So as long as the platform does well, which Pact Swap, these guys are a cross-chain swap that allow you to go from EVM to Bitcoin and a bunch of other chains, which is super convenient. And they claim to have up to 90% cheaper fees than their competitors. So we could see this get widely adopted. If they do, even though there's cheaper fees, if they have more users, they're going to be making a lot of money in fees, and they're going to share that revenue with their NFT holders. So this is a great way to increase your portfolio for absolutely free if you have the NFT. And it's definitely one on my list that I think you should lock down. Moving on, we're changing the pace a little bit. I know I said this is about utility and something backing an airdrop, whatever. Unfortunately, this one, we do not have too much information. Like, the website is blank. It is called, I hope I'm not butchering this, Neuko. Here they call it Neuko AI. So I'm thinking maybe there's something to do with AI. However, it's the team that people are recognizing. They are all four previously worked with Doodles, so I'm assuming that's how they met. But I gotta say, for not knowing anything about the product or even PFP, if it's just a brand PFP play, that's totally cool, because they are crushing the marketing. While there's only 3 tweets on the main account, most of the tweets, I believe, are coming from the team's account and the community. There are a ton of tweets all over the timeline. The amount of times I'm seeing this, his name is G-Boy, this G-Boy character on my timeline per day is very high. Like, they are doing a great job here. And part of the reason behind that is because they are not doing any collabs. There's no raffles. There's no KOL stuff. It's all organically through Twitter. You have to post about the project. You have to engage with their stuff. And if you're lucky enough, you are going to get a DM from them asking you for a Solana wallet, because this mint is happening on Solana, which they did get the tweet from the main Solana account, which is huge. This is going to cause a lot of FOMO and a lot of people to want whitelist for the collection. So we don't yet know the supply. They are in their 3rd phase. It's rabbit and a bee, it looks like. However, if we play the video, really cool AI. Like, I like even the branding in the video. Like, I know it's AI, but what excited me first about Azuki, and I'm not saying this is going to pull in Azuki, was their marketing and the way they're doing their videos and their website. Same for megaeth. That's what I love about megaeth, the marketing that they have. So here, I really like their marketing. As you can see, they are in the 3rd phase. So first phase was 250, second moth, not bee, 750, and the final, or maybe not final phase. The 3rd phase is the snake, undefined supply. So hopefully it doesn't get too big, especially with the current NFT market, right? We don't need like another 10K, but really liking what I'm seeing out of this team so far, and hopefully they continue to crush it. Next on the list, we have the Cambria Islands. If you don't know Cambria, this is a top tier game in my opinion in Web3. They've done multiple seasons so far, have earned millions of dollars, also given away millions of dollars in prizes, as well as future airdrops and NFT whitelists and stuff. And the next mint that they're doing, which it's happening on October 23rd, which I know is in 2 days, but they literally announced this yesterday. So I'm getting to this to you guys as fast as possible. And to be honest, I can do an entire video on the islands. Like, look how much info there is on all this stuff. That's not even considering their game, which is massive, and it's being expanded by these islands now. But there's so much happening in this game. They've given away so much in prizes, in airdrops, and like, it's a massive campaign. I've done multiple videos on it so far, and it doesn't even capture the entirety of what they're doing. I'll link these down below if you want to just go check these videos. I'm sure they're a bit outdated by now, but most of it is still pretty relevant. But the parts you guys will care about is one, for the minters and holders of the islands. Here it says significant consideration for the Cambria token airdrop, which I've personally been farming. I've played a ton of this game, got a lot of volume. And then the other thing you guys will care about is, of course, whitelist, which there's a few different phases. For the guaranteed, which is the phase you want, the guaranteed whitelist, the founders NFT holder. So this is their previous NFT. I have one. And what's cool is on their website, if you go to collections, they have a loyalty score. I've been holding mine almost since mint, so my loyalty score is very high. I'm not sure if it's maxed out, but it is very high. So maybe I'll get a double whitelist, because here it says founders NFT and first founders max loyalty score. The party hat holders, I guess it's an item in their game, I'm not sure. The tier 4 core holders, which this is an NFT on Iran. There's none that are listed, so I can't tell you how much it costs. However, the last sale, which was 4 weeks ago, was $1,000, and you could see a bunch of $1,000 sales. After that, we got Friends of Cambria and Land Mint raffle winners, which are the tickets from season 1 and 2. Friends of Cambria, yes, in Gorilla Labs, we do have some spots that we're raffling over the next 2 days. As for mint details, it is going to be happening on October 23rd on the #1 exchange. Also, I'm an ambassador for them, OpenSea. The mint is going to be 0.1 ETH per NFT, so $400. Yes, it's expensive. I'm minting mine. Like, I think this does well. I have no doubt in my mind that this is going to mint out. The cult that they've built to like the player base are diehard for this game. So I think it's going to do really well, especially with that airdrop. There's a ton of utility. Like I said, I can go through this in a 20-minute video, but a ton of in-game utility. I will link this down below if you want to go check it. But moving on to the next project is going to be the title deed NFTs by Momentum, which you've probably seen on the timeline as MMT. Now, there's a few things going on for this project. I know in a couple of days they have a raise happening on the build pad, which I think here you have the FDV. So I guess it's selling for 25 to 35 cents. I did see on Whales Market, it's currently selling for 75 cents. So, you know, a 2 point something to 3x, pretty good returns. But they also have the Deeds NFTs. It's going to be 15,000 the total supply. They've already handed out 10,000 to their existing community members. However, they are doing nominations. There are 5,000 more NFTs to go out. Each person that got a spot for the 10K has 3 spots each, meaning there's 30,000 nominations total and only 5K accepted. So your odds are 1 in 6. So personally, I'm looking for people who can nominate me because I do want this NFT. Momentum has been growing really well. I know a ton of people who are bullish on Sui. If you look at their TVL on DeFi Llama, you could see it exploded near the beginning of October. I imagine that's when they announced like their token raise was actually happening, and it's currently at roughly 500 million. So this is definitely one that I am trying to get access to. After that, I mean, there's a ton of projects that I'm still excited for, but I have covered multiple times in my previous videos. I will link those videos down below if you want to watch them. Ubros does a great job at just listing them all here. Here we have wallchain. I mentioned it in my last video. This one is using a leaderboard, so no raffles or anything like that. They did close the wallet submit on the 15th, so it might be too late, but a ton that I've mentioned in the past. We have Yield, Play Providence minting this week. I think it's going to do well. It's a free mint. The game is really cool. We have Yay Global, which this one alongside the Seraph Water and Legendary Humanity, all being handled by Darwin Corp, which they did the Moriusa mint. They did a few other gaming mints out of Asia that performed incredibly well. So all 3 of these, I think it's worth getting whitelisted for. Continuing down the list here, I'll link this down below, like great list. He did a great job here. Roku Trade, this one is a new one for me. It just seems like another trading platform, but no harm in getting whitelist. Like there's no wallet connect or anything on this website. You just have to submit your username and your wallet. So this kind of stuff, I always submit a burner because I haven't spoken to the team. I don't know if I could trust them. After that, we have Bankrmon that has caught my attention. I don't know too much about it. I am in chats with Nemo to just figure out things about this project. You might remember his previous project, the Crypto Fish, minted for 0.03, currently still 2x above their mint price at 0.06. However, you might remember these things went wild. They went to like 0.5 ETH. He got a ton of backing from artists. I mean, he has a bunch of honoraries with different artists and stuff. So this was a really cool project. And the next one that he's working on is going to be these Bankrmon. So definitely interested in finding out more here. Another artist doing another drop is going to be the artist behind Fwogs, which his art is incredible in my opinion, despite I got wrecked on the meme coin. But, you know, he has his Solana NFTs, which is a supply of 100, currently trading for 51 Sol. So, you know, a 5-figure PFP collection. Beautiful art. Like the art behind these is amazing. And now he's going to be doing a second drop directly through OpenSea. So really cool to see. I definitely think this is one worth getting whitelisted for. After that, we do have Monad dropping, I think it's in a couple days, right? It's dropping, I believe the 25th, if I'm not wrong. So these projects I think are gonna, if Monad does well, some of these projects are gonna cook. Lil Chogstars, Chogs, Monadians, Monadverse, all of those. It's probably too late to get whitelisted though, right? This stuff has been, people have been grinding for literal years. However, one chain that is doing their raise very soon and that there's a ton of NFTs you could still get whitelisted for is going to be megaeth. Now, I've mentioned these projects quite a few times. However, I'm still bullish on the Digit Rabbits. I have a raffle right now in my community, Guerrilla Labs. I'll also be doing one on Twitter that you could win. So make sure you follow me on Twitter. However, the best way to secure a whitelist spot without luck is just by holding one of their testnet NFTs. After that, we have the Glitchy Bunnies, which this isn't confirmed on megaeth. I'm just making an assumption here because it's bunnies, but maybe this is going to end up being on mainnet, which I think would also be fine. This one is by Jay. Amazing job with the art, amazing job with the marketing. I also have a raffle that is live on the timeline for this one for the next, by the time you watch this, 24 hours, but we'll also have a raffle in my community, Guerrilla Labs. Absolutely love this collection. Really excited to see it come to life. And then one that is going to be on megaeth confirmed is Meganacci, free, small supply, extremely difficult to get, right? So I'm not going to pretend you guys can easily get this. And then another one that I'm excited for is going to be Ave Forge, which did announce that they're going to be launching on megaeth. This is going to be a game, very small supply. So definitely another one I would check out. With that being said, that concludes today's video. I have a ton of videos that I'm working on for you guys. I'm going to have a megaeth video. I'm going to have some airdrop stuff for like base. I've been farming base, working on airdrop stuff there, interviews with different traders. I have an interview with Cooker coming up that I think you guys will really like. If there's any video you guys want to see, any tutorial you want to see, whatever it is, let me know in the comment section down below, because that really helps me understand what my audience, you guys, wants to learn about or wants to know about. So if you appreciate this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, would you kindly hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification. Thank you for watching another Crypto Gorilla video, the #1 NFT YouTube channel in the entire world. Peace.